works. So a circle is just, it's the set of all points that are the same distance away from some center, right? So if I have a center here, all the points that are 2 units away, right? All these points, this isn't gonna look very circular. I just need to move my center actually, because it looks like a pretty good circle, but it's just not in the center. Let's move my center. That's not in the middle either, is it? Not really. So if you just kept going, right, all the points that are 2 units away from the center, eventually, every single one of those points filled in gets you a circle, right? So everything is 2 units away. 2 units that way, 2 units that way, 2 units that way. That's what makes up a circle, right? All the points are the same distance away. We call circles by their center. So if I gave you something like that, we would call it circle X, or you would say circle X. So name it by the center, whatever point the center is. And then there's different parts to a circle. There are radii and diameters, and I'm going to show you that with this picture. So this is A, C, B, and X, okay? Do you know the difference between a radius and a diameter? The radius is half, the one goes all the way across. So diameter goes all the way. So AC, that's a diameter. BX or XB, you can name them in either order. That would be a radius. And then the angle formed here, for instance, we would call it angle CXB. That's called a central angle. Okay, so that one's going to be in degrees, right? That's a central angle. Okay, so here's what we're doing. In this circle, we're going to have what are called arcs. An arc is just a part of the whole circumference, the whole distance around the circle. So I'm going to give you a circle, and then we're going to label it and show the different parts of it here. So T, R, P, and S. Okay, so I have all these different points. First thing we're going to look at is what's called arc TRS. And that's called a semicircle. Okay, so arc TRS means you start at T, you go through R, you end at S, right? So TRS would be this arc. Okay, and that's a semicircle. Anyone know the measure of that arc? How many degrees? What? It's not what the radius is. No, but you're on the right track. How many degrees in a full circle? 360, right? So this is half of that, so it's 180 degrees. Okay, so a semicircle is 180 degrees. Then if we look at just arc RS, okay, arc RS, we call a minor arc because it's less than a semicircle. So a minor arc is going to be less than 180 degrees. Okay. And then the measure of that arc, so when I put the M in front of it, I'm talking about degrees, is going to equal the measure of angle, RPS. So if I can find this angle measure, okay, so let's say this is 110 degrees, then my arc is also 110 degrees. So a central angle is always the same measure as its arc, okay? How are we doing so far? Good? Okay, the last one then is the major arc, which is RTS. So that's a major arc. Notice with the minor arc, I only use 2 letters. With a major arc, you have to use 3, because if I said arc RS, I assume the smaller one. Well, RTS is this one, right? Starts at R, goes through T, and then S. Oops, there's a C there. So that's a major arc, meaning it's going to be more than 180 degrees. Okay, and then the measure of it is the same way we do the measure of the minor arc. So if a whole circle is 360, you're going to do 360 minus arc RS. So in this case, it would be 360 minus 110. So that would be 250 degrees for the measure of, arc RTS. Okay, so that's the different arcs. What we're going to do to start is just name some arcs. So, example 1. Let's say I give you this circle. Okay, so the picture looks like this. Can you name for me some minor arcs? So arcs that are less than 180. Arc AB. Arc DE. Someone else give me another minor arc. There's 2 more. Do you see one, Hope? So he said AB is a minor arc. He said DE is a minor arc. Is there another arc that's less than 180? AD would be one. And then BE. Okay, so each one of those individually are minor arcs. Okay? How about semicircles? Can you name for me a semicircle? And a semicircle, you have to use 3 letters. So if we start at B, okay, let's start at B. Give me a semicircle from B. B-A-D, so B through A through D. B-A-D. Daniel, can you give me a semicircle? What? Not BE, it has to go through a diameter. It's half the circle, right? So BED would be one. BED, that would be this guy. There's actually 2 more. Do you see what they are?
BC, or
no. A, not CE. D. A DE and a BE. Okay, so those are the semicircles. And then we're just going to name a few of the major arcs because there's a lot here. We're not going to name them all. So can anyone give me a major arc? So you have to use 3 letters, and you have to go more than a semicircle. I'll give you one example. Oh, go for it. ABD or AED, that would be the same arc, right? Starting as at A, going around to D. So arc ABD would be a major arc. What if you go the other way? What? That'd be the same arc, right, as ABD. So we'll just name that once. What? BDE would work, yep, because BDE, you're starting at B, working around through D to E. So arc BDE would be one. Anyone else see one? So we started at A and went to the right. What if we started at A and went to the left? You could say A, D, B would be a major arc. Or start at B and we went left, go B to the right. That would be BDA. Okay, so lots of options there, but it just has to be more than half the circle. And you have to use 3 letters. Okay? Questions on that? My leg's totally going to peel right now, guys. It itches. Yeah.
I used to do a pill doesn't stick.
What?
Like my pill, when I pill, like it's like my skin is like white when it does it, like and it stays. It's all really like my back.
The white stays?
Right here, like I have a
Yeah.
picture of it on my arm. Like this.
Yeah. Gets all blotchy. Okay, next thing. Let's say I give you this setup. This is A, this is B, this is P, this is C, and I tell you this is 85 degrees, okay? Here's what you need to know. Whatever the central angle is, so whatever the measure of this angle, look where those radii match up, okay? They end from B and A. That means that the arc between there is the same measure. So if this angle is 85, then that arc will also be 85. Okay, so an angle that comes off the center of the circle is the same as the arc formed by that angle. Looks like a baseball field, right? The other thing you need to know is that if we take the measure of arc AB and we add it to the measure of arc BC, it will equal the measure of arc AC. This is called the arc addition postulate. So it says if I take this piece and I add it to this piece, it will equal the whole thing, right? The 2 parts equal the whole. Not a new concept for us, but new with arcs anyway. So taking that information, I'm going to give you one more picture, and we're going to find some missing pieces, and then we're done. Let's say you have this circle. Oh, let's try again. It's a little better. Okay, so we're going to call this the center, O. This is S, T, U, and R. Ruts. Let's do ruts. All right, so let's say I tell you that this angle is 60 degrees and this angle is 20 degrees. And then we're going to find a few different things. So the first thing we're going to find is arc TOU. And then we're going to find arc TUR. And then we're going to find arc STU. And then we're going to find arc ROU. Okay, so I want to know how many degrees all of those arcs are. So if they throw the O in, that's just helping you to see where we're at. If they say, for instance, arc TOU, okay, TOU is this angle. So it's the arc associated with that angle, which would be this arc. So how many degrees is TOU? 60, right? This arc is the same as that one. So that's 60 degrees. Okay, so arc TOU is 60 degrees. How about TUR? So starting at T, ending at R, going through U. How many degrees would that be?
A lot.
180, right? Because you started here, you went through U and back and around over to here. So that is a semicircle, right? This is a diameter. So if it's a diameter, that is half a circle, which is 180 degrees. Okay? How about STU? So STU, you're starting at S and going around to U. So that's this chunk here. 80, right? Because if this is 20, then so is this. So you'd have to just add those two together. So 20 plus 60, or 80 degrees. Okay? And then the last one maybe takes the most effort here. ROU. I need a new color. Just a sec. Come on. Okay, so ROU. You're starting at R through O to U. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So the arc associated with that is this guy. 120. How did you get it?
Oh, because it's 60.
Oh,
The whole
because
time.
that's that. No.
Because I thought because 20 plus 60 is 80, and then the whole half is 180, so you subtract that.
Well, so this is 60 here, right?
I just took 60 away from 180.
Right. So this is 180 for this arc. Take this portion of it away, and you're left with 120. So yeah, you would do 180 minus the 60 is 120. Okay? If you want to draw the pictures from the book, yes. But you don't have to.